Joe Rogan has slowly but surely been increasingly turning against Donald Trump. He was still gullible. He still fell for all of it. This doesn't get him out of the fiasco that he had a hand in creating. But Rogan, who endorsed Trump in 2024, is finally calling the Epstein situation a line in the sand and says that there is gaslighting going.
Okay, so in this clip, we're going to watch, again, David Pakman go ahead and lose his mind and go on an unhinged rant thinking that Donald Trump actually, that Joe Rogan is actually just, getting off the Trump train. And, David Pakman is just busting into this babble about Joe Rogan getting us into this mess. I mean, I really think David Pakman is delusional because at the end of the day, Joe Rogan just went with the best candidate. It wasn't that deep. It's still not that deep. So at the end of the day, David Pakman is grasping at straws. Views are tanking, I'm sure, on David Pakman's show. And so David Pakman has to say that everything is collapsing, everything is being destroyed with MAGA, simply because Joe Rogan is calling out some things that he doesn't like about Trump. So again, in David Pakman's world, if you are like, if you voted for a president or something, you can never say that they did anything wrong. That's how it is in David Pakman's world. So this is why these people should not be trusted. Without further ado, let's just get into this clip. On the behalf of Donald Trump's position. This is the guy MAGA loves to quote when he bashes Democrats, when he bashes vaccines, when he bashes the media. This is not Rachel Maddow, right? But even Rogan is now saying what a lot of people are thinking, and this is what it is.
That's just going to hang around.
This is a line in the sand.
Yeah.
This one's a line in the sand.
Yeah.
Because this is one where there's a lot of stuff about, when we thought Trump was going to come in and a lot of things are going to be resolved.
Yeah.
We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to figure everything out. And when you have this one hardcore line in the sand that everybody had been talking about forever, and then they're trying to gaslight you on that.
Well, you would have thought that.
So, okay, to give context, since David Pakman isn't, the thing is, and when David Pakman doesn't give you context, it is because David Pakman wants to gaslight David Pakman's own audience. Joe Rogan is talking about the Epstein situation. This Epstein situation, I don't know who told Donald Trump that he should handle it by saying that it's not real or whatever. I don't know. But this Epstein situation is really a thorn in Donald Trump's behind because it's not going away. Though I don't predict that it will do anything for the midterms. I mean, people like David Pakman are like hype. They're so excited. They think that because of this situation that Democrats are going to win the midterms. And I tell you right now, I highly doubt that Democrats will win the midterms based on Epstein. So so that's the context, okay?
So Rogan, the way Rogan says this is pretty revealing. He says, we believed Trump was going to come in, straighten things out, figure everything out. Who believed that? If only extremely gullible people ever believed that Trump was going to do any of the stuff he said he was going to do and expose sex traffickers and drain the swamp or whatever language, the track record has been the opposite. Trump has a history of defending abusers if they're loyal to him. Trump hung out with Epstein for years. Trump attacked his critics way harder than he ever criticized Jeffrey Epstein. And so when Trump goes, why is everybody still talking about Epstein? He's not being cagey.
By the way, guys, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Listen, please, definitely don't forget to hit that like button. Definitely. Let's get this video out. The left is actually thinking that MAGA is over based off of Epstein. I do know that there is a lot going on in the MAGA world. We can say that there are a lot of questions. People are getting frustrated. Doesn't mean that David Pakman needs to get hype where he thinks that his radical left side is going to come and take over and we're going to have children. You know how they love the trans and all of that. Identity politics. People are done with that, okay? So people are more done with that than they are mad at Trump for Epstein, all right? So David Pakman is not going to win with this one, but guys, please hit that like button. Let's get this video to move definitely higher than David Pakman's video would ever move. I mean, because when I tell you grasping at straws, this is insane to listen to.
Kind of being transparent in a twisted way. He's telling you the truth, which is why I don't want you talking about Epstein. And so when Rogan now is turning on Trump and says there's gaslighting going on, and great. I mean, listen, there's two sides to this. There's what is the political impact of prominent MAGAs turning on Donald Trump publicly? Well, it may trickle downstream, and there may be more of the public that turns against Trump. And hopefully it helps defeat a lot of these lunatic Republicans in November of 26, and then, thinking further down the line in 2028. Great, I'll take it. But you would have to be so gullible ever to have believed that Trump was going to do the things that he said he was going to do. And look a little bit of the timeline, because there was a time where it was, we're going to release the Epstein files. And then, Trump had that Fox News interview where he goes, MLK files, of course, release everything, JFK. Wait, what, did you just say Epstein? Well, less so, but we'll see. That moment, we all knew. We said it on the show. They're never releasing the Epstein files. They might leak, but Trump's never releasing them.
Okay, guess what? Listen, and believe me, if anybody's been watching any of these episodes, you guys know I've been saying, and not that this is about me, but like I've said before, though, it's not about Trump. This isn't about Trump to me. I want all the files, and people would say, well, there's no files, actually, or there's no list. Whatever document, boxes, however you have it, I want them to be released at least as evidence to show that Congressman, Orange Michaels, I'm making up a name so that I don't accidentally get anybody, was compromised with this, this blackmail because he was doing disgusting things, and then voted for us, to go to war in Iraq based on the blackmail and not the lie of weapons of mass destructions. Okay? So this is the point that for me, I just saying like, we're not going to get the files. We're not going to get the files. And the reason why I get it now. Sorry. Let me finish this part of the sentence. I understand why people like Tim Pool will say, they'll say, you know what? The left only cares about the files just so that they can talk about Trump and try to win. He's right, at least with David Pakman. I won't say with everybody, because a lot of these theories about Epstein, a lot of people who were on the left actually who, ended up voting for Trump too. They wanted the files. So it's like, I'm not going to do it like that, like all around. But somebody like David Pakman, who's trying to sell a show, definitely is just trying to make it all about Donald Trump. David Pakman is, saying Trump isn't going to release the files. Trump this, Trump that. David Pakman doesn't care what's in those files. David Pakman not once says, and I've been clipping this, David Pakman does not say even once, what did they do in our government with these files? It's all a one-up on Trump. And that's the part. It's so frustrating. I understand the magnitude of Donald Trump. Believe me, I know. I've seen the man in person. The aura is real. But we cannot, it doesn't begin and end with Donald Trump. This is our government. So if you want the files, if you are complaining about the files like David Pakman is, it shouldn't just be about getting a W on Donald Trump. It's just ridiculous.
The DOJ and the FBI under Trump now go, there is no list. There are no files. And Pam Bondi said, well, they're on my desk. And then she goes, no, that was taken out of context. But then we've got the Wall Street Journal report that says Pam Bondi not only has the files, she briefed Trump and said, you are in the files. And now he's flirting with pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, who helped Epstein traffic underage girls. And so Rogan, in a sense, is right. It is a betrayal of justice, and it's a betrayal of Trump's promises. In a way, it's also a betrayal of Trump's base because they wanted certain transparency that they're not going to get. And that's what's snapping Rogan out of this thing. In a way, Rogan is the most influential voice in podcasting, sort of, when it comes to manufacturing.
Okay, bro, put some respect on Joe Rogan's name. Don't do that. This is why he never lets you back on the show. Put some respect on Joe Rogan's name. Don't say in a way, sort of, he's influencing, but in a way, sort of, the podcasting. This is Joe Rogan who basically came up with podcasting, okay? who's like always number one. Just not too long ago, Tucker beat him. Okay, it took for Tucker Carlson to beat out Joe Rogan. Like, stop it, David Pakman. Stop it, okay? Just because your show, and again, that's why we're going to hit the like button, right? But just because your show doesn't have the numbers like his does, and I'm not coming for David Pakman because he has, you know, he's doing his thing, right? But that doesn't mean that you minimize Joe Rogan, like, or, you know, and say, you know, well, he sort of kind of has influence. What? But wait a minute, does he have influence or not? Because you guys cry because he endorsed Trump. You guys won't stop crying about it.
Consent around Donald Trump. And so when he says we are being gaslit, that matters. That matters. Not because Rogan has a moral authority, but because he influences millions of people, many of whom still think Trump's anti-elite, Trump's going to expose this, Trump's going to expose that, even though he's not going to. So Trump...
So, and again, it always goes back to Donald Trump. You know, we win, Trump isn't going to expose this, Trump isn't going to expose that. Ha-ha, we got a W. And so what, do you pack your bags and then you say, that's it, you're done? I mean, this is the theme of my complaint with David Pakman's, you know, whole shtick here, right? This is the theme. Because... it's gaslighting to David Pakman's audience. Again, this person does not care. I mean, you know, this person really just doesn't care. And allegedly, in my opinion, because it's all about getting the numbers and going after Donald Trump. Obviously, the algorithm, I mean, he's the anti-Trump channel, right? And him and Brian Tyler Cohen both do the same thing. And then just to make the one last point, too, like, oh, you know, Trump said he was going to drain the swamp and he didn't do that. Okay. First of all, like, yeah, maybe they shouldn't have called it draining the swamp. You know, the cabinet is huge. Bro, like, can you give somebody a second? This stuff takes a lot of time. And then, again, we have to deal with whatever the thing is that is apparently above Trump that's making Trump act like this with the Epstein files, because this is not Trump's doing on his own. And that's what David Pakman will try to make his audience believe when he's talking about Joe Rogan and everything and Trump, instead of saying what is above Trump that's compromising Trump, right? They'll make it seem like Trump's making all the decisions. I don't put this one just on Donald Trump. I don't. I mean, I already know who it is, but, you know, anyway, we'll leave it there. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.